Hello folks, this is Mark with OrientWatchUSA.com with Orient's Pocket Watch CDD00001W. Now this is one of Orient's most, I would say, unique timepieces because this is the only pocket watch that is offered under the Orient label, and so it is quite unique. But as I go into deeper, it uses the same in-house movement that Orient typically offers to all their mechanical customers, but this watch is quite different. There's two features on this thing which are quite abnormal for Orient watches. Although in time these differences will diminish because Orient will offer it to all their mechanical watches in the future. But this watch is hackable and is also hand windable. For those who are quite unfamiliar with Orient watches, if you look at the back over here, you'll notice that there's an exhibition case back, but you will not notice any sort of batteries or anything. This is a mechanically driven watch, which means there's a spring inside here, a main spring, which is powering this whole movement. It's not typical, but it is quite typical for a watch to not have batteries and whatnot, but it's a slightly older design and it makes it a little more collectible. So for those who want to learn a little more about mechanical watches, after the video, take a look at the product page in the bottom right side and you'll see a little icon that says, what is a mechanical watch? Spend a couple minutes there and you'll really understand the technology behind it. Okay, now let me show you all the little details of this watch. I don't know if the HD camera is really picking it up, but this dial is very decorated. Although it does typically just uses white and black and this blue color over here, on the dial itself, this little pattern. This makes it very nice and very classy. You'll notice a power reserve indicator on the 9 o'clock position, which I'll explain to you in a second. And you know what? I'll go ahead and explain it right now, actually. Like I said to you before, there's a spring in here. But unlike a battery, unlike many things, once you put it in, you just can't forget about it. This main spring inside here is this is basically like a fuel gauge for it. It lets me know how many hours it's going to run without any sort of movement. No, not movement, sorry, without it being wound. I'm sorry, typically most of our watches are automatic, so I can say that, but this one's a hand windable. So right now it says 20. Now to give the spring more power, I have to wind the crown so that it's going to wind the spring. So watch the power reserve, folks, as I wind it. I'm going to wind it all the way to 40. And you'll notice that there's not that much movement that I need to do to the crown to give it any sort of power. So now, in that short amount of time, I've given my watch 20 more hours worth of power. Now, I don't know if you can see this, it says 0 to 40. Like I said, these are all in units of hours. So when it's at 40, I know for 40 hours it's gonna run without any sort of wind or anything. Cool. So now that you know how to wind it, let me show you how to change the time. All you have to do is pull out the crown, just like any other watch, and then you can just go ahead and adjust time. For you watch fanatics out there, you probably just noticed that the second hand stopped, which is quite normal for Orient watches. But like I explained, it's all coming in the future. Okay, so now that I explained this, let me show you some of the other angles of this watch, because as great as pictures are, it's just not as good as a video to show you all the 3 dimensions of a watch. And basically what Orient did was they just put a watch movement inside a pocket watch case. At first, when I first got this, I thought, hey, okay, this is alright, but when I start using it, the accuracy, the durability, I've had pocket watches in the past before that didn't last me an evening. So this has lasted me for at least around 6 months now. So yeah, just so you know. Alright folks, so this is Orient's Pocket Watch CDD00001W.